Now, speaking of Orwellian things taking place, we have British law enforcement officials placing a man in handcuffs last week for allegedly retweeting a post on Twitter that made another person, get this, anxious. This is where we're at as a society. The reason why I want to highlight this is not necessarily what's going on in England, but the potential of what could happen here with what the progressive left wants to happen here. The progressive left wants this. See, they want you in Twitter jail, both metaphorically, but also literally, because they take the words that you say as harmful. Like, you physically hurt them with your words. We're seeing it in real time in England right now. There's a video clip of this whole shenanigans happening here with this police department, and you could see the citizens just completely just baffled by what the heck's going on with these police officers arresting them for a Twitter post, an actual Twitter post. Let's go ahead and roll it.
No, the Hampshire police would realise how ridiculous this is. It is ridiculous. It is. Look, I'm
to come to this.
What did it need to come to?
Tell us why you escalated it to this level, because I don't understand. I posted something that he posted. You come to arrest me, you don't arrest him. Why has it come to this? Why am I in cuffs? Because there's something he shared, then I shared.
Because someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media post. That's
not his.
Why you've been arrested.
Darren, I've got the no.
I mean, that is so wild that after everything that's gone and happened in human history of silencing and just ultimately being a power-hungry government over its citizens, that this stuff is still happening. And it should scare all of you that there is a potential where a government can go usurpacious upon its people. And here it's obviously freedom of speech, with basically everybody lacks in a nutshell other than America. But again, if this can overflow into American society, which it has with the progressive left, and in some parts has infiltrated the Democrat Party, then now you're looking at not only freedom of speech, but also your Second Amendment rights. Your Second Amendment rights being taken away or being infringed upon. You just had the House pass the bill to remove certain semi-automatic weapons, firearms, pistols, shotguns from the public. I don't think it's going to pass in the Senate, and it sure as hell isn't going to pass in the Supreme Court because of the prior cases that have been established before it. But that is why we need the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment ultimately not only protects the First, but in a nutshell also enforces it as well because of that protection, which is why we have the logo here at the Bald Brad Show, where you have the firearm, the Second Amendment, and then you have the mic, the First Amendment. The second protects the first. And if you have the first, you don't really need to use the second, but it's there as a precautionary measure. So the guy's baffled, as you heard in the clip. And you had the officer say someone has been caused anxiety based upon your social media post. Who cares? Don't read the post then if you have anxiety. Don't be on social media if you're getting anxiety from things. But this is why the left wants trigger warnings before all the Disney films, right? They want trigger warnings before, Thor, Love and Thunder, because you had Natalie Portman's character having stage 4 cancer. And like, I've never seen a cancer person before. It's so real. It's like we have, in a nutshell, we've pussified our country. Like, we need to grow a pair. Like, you have the guys storming the beaches of Normandy back when you had the Korean War, the Vietnam War. You had these just rough and tough Americans. And there's just people on the progressive left here in America that just get upset over everything. They too get upset over Twitter posts. As you just saw, the Views getting all outraged over somebody fat shaming, a politician fat shaming another person because they're obese. And like, if somebody calls you fat or obese, it's probably because you are. If you want to take shame from that, I'm sure that's subjective. That might not even be the person's true intention. You can actually have a doctor tell you that you're obese or you're fat. Their intention is not to hurt your feelings or give you anxiety or anything of the nature. They're there to support you and provide you help to get healthier and get better. But the way that you take it isn't the other person's fault. It's your fault for taking it that way. But again, they want you to be thrown in jail, as you see in England here. I mean, wrap your head around that. You say something to somebody that causes them anxiety over a freaking social media feed, and you're going to be arrested for it and thrown in jail. And the left want to take it further, where they want you thrown in prison because, like I said, it's no different from you, say, fat shaming somebody. Say you called somebody fat or something like that. And there's no different from that language being compared to that, like you punching them in the face. That's how they correlate the two. They take it as an equivalency, that you literally you committed assault and battery, basically, to the person, and that you should be thrown in prison, arrested, and maybe even fined. So this is what's going on in England. It has a possibility of rolling into the United States. through the progressive left by infiltrating the Democrat Party and pushing initiatives. And we can't say that's not going to happen because they've done the same thing by utilizing the progressive left, infiltrating the Democrat Party, and then trying to infringe upon our Second Amendment rights, which has happened time and time again. So there's the show for you, folks. Thank you so much for always supporting us here at the Bald Brad Show. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. And thank you again so much for 10,000 subscribers. Let's try to get to another 10,000 more and even maybe 100,000 at some point in the future. Grow the show, grow the cause, grow the American Conservative Party. With that being said, folks, I will see you later here on the Bald Brad Show. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.